G'day, Coach Sean Bose here with a technical running gait analysis. This is one of the services I provide for people on my marathon and half marathon training programs. What we're looking for here is some running deficiencies that might be slowing the runner down and leading him to injury, which we can probably easily fix. All you need is about 45 to a minute's worth of video. You can email it to me and I'll have a look at it. So here's one. This is Blake Rankin in Santa Barbara, California. He's training for the Los Angeles Marathon. So let's just have a look. The first thing we're going to do is count his stride rate. And if you just look at the screen there, so on a left foot down, what we're going to do is count his left foot strikes. We'll do that for 30 seconds, then we double it and double it again to get his stride rate for a minute. As you might be able to see down the bottom of the screen, it says 2.7 seconds. So we're going to hope for about 32.7, and he wants to hit the ground, say, 45 times with that left foot. So here we are. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. So he's on 23 and it's 32.5, 32.7, so 43 goes to about 172 strides per minute. So he's a bit slow there. Admittedly, he's running easy. However, the good thing about taking video when you're running at an easy pace is, let's face it, as marathon runners or distance runners, 80% of our training load is going to be at a steady state or an easy state. And this is where runners get a little bit lackadaisical, a bit lazy, and they start to let things fly out because they're not switched on all the time and focusing on correct stride rate. So this is perfect. I can remember when I first did this, the guy I did this with, Mark Mitchell, the great physio, he told me to just run easy, casual, because it will exacerbate any technical flaws in your running style. And that's what happened, and we fixed it pretty much overnight. So this is ideal. So he's striding a little bit below the rate. He should be up a little bit faster. And I think when we go into this technically, we can see the reasons why he's striding slowly. And when we fix his stride, he'll speed up. So it's kind of like fixing up a bike wheel. Once you pull everything into alignment, it starts to flow perfectly. So let's move on. So if you just look there, we've got a bit of an angle at the front here. Oh. Admittedly, he's not on the ground yet, but he's about to strike the ground there with his heel first, and then his foot's going to roll down over it. And what's happening here is each stride, he's striking the ground in front of his hips. You can see his hips back here, and his foot's striking way out here. So what that's doing is slowing him down on each stride. And it's also causing a hell of a lot of reverberation back through the knee, back through the hip, and that's going to create problems later on. So the more running you do like that, obviously training for the marathon or half, we're doing a lot of volume. If you're doing this every stride, this is going to become a problem. What I think the problem in a lot of cases is, let's think about a circle. Like, this is the circle that your feet should move in. And because of this overstride in the front, because his feet are going too far forward in the front, over here, that means they're going to be too low at the back over here. So see that trail leg? That should be just maybe a touch higher coming through. So a runner really needs to get the hamstrings kind of into play and kind of kick that up, not too high, but just a little bit higher. However, that would easily be achieved if he wasn't overstriding out here, because he's heavy out here, he's going to be light out the back. But if he speeds up his stride and lands right underneath his center of gravity, then his heel will kick up just that little bit higher, and it will promote a better knee lift on the front and a stride through, as you cycle back through. So the problem I think a lot of runners get into is they think about only the bottom half of the circle, so down here. They think about getting a hold of the ground here and driving off it here and pushing way out in front. However, a better way to think about it is thinking about it from the top of the circle and being more diligent and disciplined in having a fast trail leg coming through and then a decent knee lift. So that's really controlled from your abs. So we do a lot of core strength, leg raises, this kind of thing, because essentially what you're doing each time you're running is you're lifting your knee up. And you do that with your abs, and that's going to set you up for the rest of the stride. Another thing to focus on also, if we just split the circle again, instead of driving off the ground back here, you need to think about being diligent in digging in with your stride underneath. So from the front of your stride, which will be, let's have a look, let's just undo all that. Okay, so he's out in front here, and he's gone to the front of his stride out here, but he hasn't had the discipline to dig in with his foot to land right underneath his center of gravity. That's really what you want to do, and that's going to set up the rest of your stride. If you're lazy on the front here like he is, and this is what I was doing when I got ITB friction syndrome, I was lazy on the front, just letting my foot fly out, and what that overstride was doing was causing me an injury here, and it was slowing me down. So if you really want to set up a good stride rate, you have to be disciplined in this part of the stride here, lifting your knee, and then you also have to be disciplined in this part of the stride in kicking back underneath your body. And as I said earlier, that will set up your trail leg will kick through, and then will come through even faster. And then once all those parts are in play, your stride rate will go up, because to stay balanced, you're going to have to stride faster, otherwise you'll fall over. Okay, think about it like a bike. Everything has to be even. So if you're too far out the front, it's going to be too short out the back. If you're too high on your trail leg, I've got a guy, David Croft, who kicks up too high on his trail leg, and he's too light on the front. So you need to try and work it out so that it's perfectly even. How much does that guy love it? Yeah, so here we go. Perfect example. Lazy out the front. Big angle under the heel. And he's going to hit the ground way out there. And just look at his... just look at his back foot here. So this thing... that hit the ground just earlier. But see how it's kind of a bit limp out the back? It's not really flying up the way it should. Also looking down, his shoulders are a bit forward as well. It's just kind of a bit slack. So I'd love to see him straighten up a bit and get his shoulders back, push through his glutes, and just have the discipline to work the digging part of the stride so he lands it underneath himself here. And when he does that, his stride rate will pick up and it will be much, much better running. Just try to think about it like your feet are a perfect circle and they have to tumble like so. You're not driving off the ground and clawing and grabbing, trying to get forward. You're running from up top in your body, up here, kind of like a puppeteer. You're working it from the top. And all this is like a unicycle. Don't think about it as driving off the ground. Think about it working from your body, and it's just a revolving unicycle. So there you have it. I really want you to think about this as running from the top of your stride and trying to make it nice and fast, even on both legs, and landing underneath you, having that discipline to dig in and just, fly up off the ground. Happy days.